In this show, we're going to be talking about the Lions news here and a lot to talk about for this day on Tuesday. We're going to get into Packers injuries because injuries affects games. So we'll get into that, what players are injured. Lions captains were announced. What does that mean for the Lions? Jared Goff and the Goffense. Dan Campbell spoke about what he believes he can do after Ben Johnson leaving. Lions host a cornerback. We'll talk about the player, what he could bring to the Lions, and the NFL power rankings. Lions power rankings are out. But before we get into today's video, make sure you go ahead and subscribe to that channel. Why is that? Because we're dropping Lions news every single day. We're trying to get to 87,000. Hit that sub button. The Lions are traveling to Green Bay on Sunday at a 4:25 game. The Lions are underdogs at 2.5 points. The Packers are favored. Now, when it comes to games, what is a big issue we always talk about in all games is injuries. And what about our opponent on Sunday? Well, they got 3 players right now that are kind of dinged up. You got Micah Parsons, who they just picked up, dealing with a back issue. He's practiced all week. I suggest he'll be playing in this game on Sunday. It will be a snap count, not necessarily due to injury, morely because he has not been a Packer. He just got traded. Also talk about Nate Hobbs, Lions' top defensive free agent pickup this offseason. He had surgery on his meniscus August 2nd. They're hopeful he can play week 1, but he has not returned to practice as of yet. And then you got Elton Jenkins, the starting center for the Green Bay Packers. He was sidelined. He missed time due to practice. And if he doesn't play, that actually could hurt their offense for sure. We don't really know what's going to happen there, but he's dealing with an injury that obviously is affecting him. So that's one we're definitely going to be monitoring coming on this Sunday. So who do you got winning the game? If you got the Lions winning, put DET in the comments. If you got the Packers winning, put GB. The Detroit Lions have announced their captains for the 2025 season, and there they are. You have Penei Sewell, the great Penei Sewell, Lions' best tackle on this team, Hall of Fame player, and you know why he's a captain. He leads by example. He's doing all the motivation before games, speaking it up. Alex Anzalone, veteran on this team. Everybody respects Anzalone. He's got offense and defense loving this guy. Lead by example, of course. He is going to be a captain. Amon-Ra first down. St. Brown standing on his head. He is a captain because he is a leader of men in regards to catching that football. With 206 catches before practice every single day, a dog who fights in all the receivers, and a lot of people follow his lead. He's the first one in, last one out. Grant Stuard, who he picked up in free agency, he's been a doggone defense. He a doggone special teams. I can totally get it. Aidan Hutchinson, the man, the myth, the legend. He is going to be a captain for the Lions defensive line. Do we need to say anything more there? And of course, Jared Goff, Lions quarterback. Of course, he's the captain. He's the leader of men. He's the leader of this ship. And he's going to be the guy to hopefully send the Detroit Lions, hopefully the quarterback that can help bring the Lions to a Super Bowl. And I know we lost Ben Johnson. Now, I know that there's issues there, but I believe that the offense will be fine. I do. And so does Dan Campbell, because this is what he said. He says, to me, that's important, Campbell said 8 months ago before a hire had been made. That's important. That's what Ben did is a great job. Those guys working together. He's talking about Goff and Morton. The system was kind of built from the ground up, and it was to help him and for him to be a part of. And so, yeah, that's huge. He'll have a lot of input regarding Jared Goff. Continues on. Says, this thing is set up for Goff to have success with our playmakers. Lions wide receiver Amon-Ra St. Brown, our running backs, our offensive line, the whole deal, Campbell said. And so I want to keep that in place. I want to keep our terminology in place, and I want to make sure that Goff is comfortable because he's playing at a high level. Dan Campbell fully believes that the Detroit Lions will be just fine without Ben Johnson, and I am one of those individuals who believes in that. Why? Because the offense is extremely talented, and Jared Goff knows this offense very well. If you look at the line of scrimmage, he audibles a lot. He makes his own plays, nearly half last year. That's Jared Goff, reading the defense, calling the play, and making the move. And then you got the weapons all around. Jahmyr Gibbs, St. Brown, David Montgomery, Jamison Williams, Isaac Tesla, Sam Laporta, a really good offensive line. Of course the offense is going to have success. It's not just one coordinator that makes a whole offense go. It's everything. Yes, a great coordinator will get the best out of their playmakers. And I do think Ben Johnson did a really good job of that. But we have playmakers. And Jared Goff knows this offense. And John Morton helped build this offense. I truly do believe that the Lions will be fine on offense. It's all going to come down to the offensive line. And then just as they gel along throughout the season. That's kind of what I see going on right there, in my opinion. Do you believe that the Lions' offense will be fine without Ben Johnson? If you believe so, put Y in the comments. If not, put N. The Detroit Lions did bring a player in for a visit, a cornerback, formerly of the Tennessee Titans. Tre Avery, 5'11", 185 pounds, 28 years old. He's had 38 career games. Lions been bringing a lot of players in. When it comes to the back end of the roster, turning all the rocks over. It's what they do. Doesn't matter what position it is. And especially DBs as of late, claiming them. So they brought him in for a visit. What has he done? 65 combined tackles, 54 solo, 11 pass defense, 0 interceptions. He spent 2 seasons with the Titans, appearing in a combined 24 games, including 15 in 23. He had 33 tackles. Over the 3 seasons with the Titans, he had 653 defensive snaps, 440 special team snaps. He was waived by the Titans December 28 in 2024. He was then claimed by the San Francisco 49ers, and now getting a visit from our beloved Detroit Lions. When I think about Tre Avery, I think this is just the Lions doing their due diligence, turning all the rocks over, all of that. Also remember, Brad Holmes is going to be contacting multiple players. This organization will contact multiple players, just in case if there is injuries throughout the year, so they keep in touch. So that could be a thing as well. Just looking to see where this player is at. We have, a player down the road, a cornerback, say Rock Ya-Sin or something, gets injured. They can go ahead and make a move at that point because they've already made an interest with him. They checked in on him. You know, if they sign him to the practice squad or whatever, then it's not a big deal. But this is just a guy, in my opinion, who is a depth piece, or just simply they're just checking on him. So it's not that big of a thing. Let's get into the power rankings, because we have the first one of the year. We're going to go through all of the outlets and give you my thoughts on the Lions' first power rankings of the year. Sporting News giving the Detroit Lions the 6th best team in the NFL. I think last year they had them starting out at 4. Sports Illustrated, they had them 1 last year, their 5th, dropping 4 spots. CBS Sports HQ, 7th right there. Not too bad considering they always rank the Lions low. Some of these guys, especially Emory Hunt, he actually believes that the Chicago Bears are going to win division. So you got to take this stuff with a grain of salt. The Athletic, 6th. ESPN has the Lions 3rd. Shocking right there. I am not going to lie. I was a little bit shocked for that one. Usually ESPN's a little bit rough. For the Wins got 5th. It's the first one that I've done for them this year. And USA Today giving them the worst ranking of 9. That's an ass ranking right there. Where do you rank the Detroit Lions? 1, if you have the best team in the NFL. 32, if you are CBS Sports HQ's Emery Hunt, apparently. Let me give my thoughts on this here. Ninth is ridiculous, by the way. Come on, man. The Lions are better than the ninth best team. And I don't mind even the seventh right there. I think seventh would be the lowest that I would go for the Lions. The very lowest, right? That's the lowest. And the highest for me right now, I honestly would probably go 2. That would be my highest. I still think the Philadelphia Eagles right now on paper is better in talent-wise than the Detroit Lions, but it's on paper. Doesn't mean that's what's going to be the case if they face off. That's right now. We haven't even played a game. We don't know what's going to happen weeks down the road, more or less, months down the road. So this is just the initial one. And, I would probably go with the Lions just sitting there, the high of 2, low of 6, or the lowest, the absolute lowest of 7. The absolute lowest. I think USA Today is done something with their body to a 9th ranking. They did some sort of over-the-counter or under-the-counter, some sort of substance to get to the 9th there. I think that's a little bit ridiculous. A little bit ridiculous. So, yeah. Well, and then when week 1, I don't know about you guys, but I am ready for week 1 to be over with. This Packer love and this idea that the Lions suck all of a sudden with the Dan Orlowskis and all these people just going crazy because of the trade. Is it around 8 o'clock Sunday night yet? Because I can't wait for the Lions to go into Green Bay and get that victory, because I think that's what's going to happen. I think the Lions get that victory, and all this idea that the Lions are a bad football team and we've lost it, they'll get thrown out the window. So give me your thoughts on today's Lions news. With that said, folks, adios.